The Haunting of Cell Block 13. Hidden away on the outskirts of a small, desolate town stood the decaying remnants of an old, abandoned prison. Within its cold, stone walls lay the remnants of a dark and sinister past. Among its many cells, one room stood out, Cell Block 13, a place of unspeakable horror and tragedy. Decades ago, Cell Block 13 had been used to house the most dangerous and disturbed criminals. It was a place where screams echoed through the corridors, and the very air seemed to be tinged with malevolence. Inmates whispered tales of the cell block being cursed, claiming that those who entered never truly left. As the years went by, the prison fell into disrepair, and the stories surrounding Cell Block 13 became the stuff of local legend. The townspeople spoke of ghostly apparitions, flickering lights, and the lingering sounds of shackles clanking in the dead of night. Enter Alex, a paranormal investigator with a fascination for the supernatural and a determination to uncover the truth. Drawn by the chilling tales, Alex decided to spend a night alone in Cell Block 13, armed with recording equipment and a heart full of skepticism. The air grew heavy with a sense of foreboding as Alex stepped into the dimly lit corridor of Cell Block 13. The walls seemed to close in around them, and every step echoed with a haunting reverberation. Despite their confidence, an unsettling feeling gnawed at the edges of Alex's mind. As the night wore on, Alex set up their equipment, determined to capture any evidence of the paranormal. Hours passed in silence, the only sounds being the distant howling of the wind and the occasional drip of water. But just as doubt began to creep in, a faint whisper echoed through the corridor, sending a shiver down Alex's spine. The whisper grew louder, accompanied by a chilling breeze that seemed to carry voices from another realm. Alex's heart raced as they followed the eerie sounds down the corridor, their flashlight flickering in response to an unseen presence. Shadows danced along the walls, and the air grew colder with each step. In Cell Block 13, Alex found an old journal hidden beneath the crumbling mattress. The journal chronicled the descent into madness of an inmate who had been locked away in that very cell. The words spoke of torment, of a malevolent force that whispered dark thoughts into the inmate's mind, driving them to the brink of insanity. As Alex read the journal, the whispers grew more frantic, their voices intertwining in a cacophony of despair. The walls seemed to close in even further, and the room itself felt alive with a malevolent energy. Suddenly, the cell door slammed shut with a deafening clang, trapping Alex inside. Panic surged through Alex as they pounded on the door, the whispers now a relentless onslaught of torment. Shadows writhed and twisted, their forms morphing into grotesque shapes that seemed to feed on fear. With each passing second, Cell Block 13 transformed into a nightmarish realm of horror. Desperation drove Alex to recite an ancient incantation found within the journal, hoping it would banish the malevolent force. A blinding light engulfed the cell, and for a moment, the whispers ceased. When the light subsided, the door swung open, and Alex stumbled out, gasping for air. Cell Block 13 lay silent once more, as though the malevolent force had been vanquished. Alex emerged from the prison, shaken but alive, the echoes of the haunting etched forever in their memory. As they walked away, the wind seemed to carry a mournful whisper, a reminder that some horrors are best left undisturbed, lest they consume those who dare to confront them. Story 2: The Warden's Final Judgment. Within the walls of the notorious Blackwood Penitentiary, a prison steeped in darkness and despair, there existed a chamber that held a sinister secret. Hidden behind layers of iron doors and forgotten by time, this room was known only as the Warden's Judgment. Its history was one of torment, punishment, and a malevolent presence that lingered, hungry for retribution. The Warden's Judgment was a place of isolation, reserved for the most heinous criminals and those who dared to challenge the prison's authority. It was said that once a prisoner entered this chamber, they were never seen again. Rumors circulated among inmates, speaking of screams that echoed through the corridors at night and a feeling of dread that settled over anyone who came close to the room. Years after Blackwood Penitentiary closed its doors, a group of urban explorers decided to venture into the abandoned prison. Among them was Sarah, an adventurous photographer with a fascination for the macabre. Drawn by the rumors and the allure of capturing the prison's eerie beauty on film, she entered the decaying facility with her camera and a sense of trepidation. As Sarah and her companions explored the prison's corridors, the atmosphere grew increasingly oppressive. The air seemed to carry the weight of past suffering, and the faint echoes of footsteps and distant whispers played tricks on their senses. But Sarah was determined to capture the essence of Blackwood Penitentiary, even if it meant facing her own fears. As the group made their way deeper into the prison, they stumbled upon an unmarked iron door, its surface etched with cryptic symbols. Intrigued, Sarah pushed the door open, revealing a corridor that seemed to lead to nowhere. A sense of unease settled over the group as they cautiously stepped inside, the dim light casting eerie shadows on the walls. The corridor led them to a chamber, its walls adorned with faded murals depicting scenes of agony and despair. In the center of the room stood an ornate chair, its design invoking a sense of dread. Sarah's heart raced as she raised her camera to capture the scene, but before she could take a photo, a cold wind swept through the chamber, extinguishing the flashlight's glow. In the darkness, a chilling whisper filled the air, echoing with malice. "Judgment awaits," the voice hissed, its words crawling up Sarah's spine. Panic surged through her as she fumbled to relight the flashlight, her companions' voices fading into the distance. The room seemed to close in around her, and the murals came to life, the figures contorting and writhing in torment. A presence materialized before Sarah, a shadowy figure that emanated an aura of malevolence. It was the spirit of the prison's warden, a man consumed by a thirst for power and a sadistic delight in punishment. The warden's eyes bore into Sarah's soul, his voice a haunting echo that reverberated through her mind. Sarah's instincts screamed at her to flee, but her body felt paralyzed, trapped within the warden's gaze. The room seemed to twist and warp around her, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurring into a nightmarish hallucination. The warden's judgment was upon her, a terrifying ordeal that threatened to consume her very essence. With a surge of willpower, Sarah managed to break free from the warden's grasp. She stumbled backward, her heart pounding as she raced back through the corridor and out of the chamber. As she emerged into the cold night air, the sense of malevolence lifted, and the prison stood silent once more. Sarah's camera lay abandoned on the chamber floor, its lens shattered. She never spoke of what had transpired that night, haunted by the warden's final judgment. Blackwood Penitentiary remained a place of darkness, a reminder that some evils are so potent, they leave an indelible mark on the very walls that contained them.